You're recording, you're live.
Good evening, Toastmasters, friends and guests. What are siblings? Who are siblings? My answer is pertaining to the younger siblings. Well, siblings are possible byproducts of your parents having those late night fun when you're busy sleeping in your bed. Siblings are one of those things that get stuck with you forever, good or bad. You can dump your girlfriend or boyfriend for a want of better girlfriend or boyfriend who doesn't question you much. You can even divorce your spouse for want of freedom and independence. You can change your loyalty from one football club to the other. But can you ever divorce or dump your sibling for want of a better sibling? No, you cannot. Siblings are those things that get stuck with you. It's one of those bloody relationships that goes through a gamut of emotions and still survives. When I look back at the relationship my sister and I had, I realized that we went through various stages and then landed where we are today. And I believe every sibling relationship also goes through the same cycle. And so here I am to talk to you all about the life cycle of my sibling relationship, of how I went from being a stranger to being a runner. The first stage, the beginning of the rivalry. I was brought up by my grandparents, but my sister was brought up by my parents. So naturally, there was lack of bonding right from a very young age. My sister was very kind, that she thought of me as a stranger. She would fight with me for reasons only known to her. She would scream on top of her voice if I ever went close to her. Actually, she could scream a lot louder than this. But since we were not the best of friends, she always hated me. So since she set the precedent, I had no other choice than to accept the rivalry and throw everything at her that she threw at me. And then came the second stage, the manifestation of the rivalry. My sister and I didn't believe in the novelty of doing stupid childish things to each other, like pouring hot sauce on top of their. No, we didn't believe in that. As kids, we wanted bigger things. We always dreamt big. And so we believed in beating the hell out of each other. My sister had a very unique style of crying. She would first stare at you, and then she would grimace, as if she smelled something really bad. And then she would squeeze her eyes, using her cheeks to bring the tears out of her eyes. Finally, she makes a screeching sound of a mice that got stuck in a trap. Making my sister cry has been one of those peaceful things I've had in my life. If I ever wanted that inner peace, all I had to do is make my sister cry. One of those days, I was playing cricket at my home, a game which is similar to baseball. And I got my sister out pretty easily by bowling a fast ball. After getting her out, I went next to her and taunted her by singing and dancing. Puni, you got out. I would keep doing this until the point she got irritated and cried. And she always does. She hated losing and she started crying, making that same horrible face again. I was floating in heaven with that inner peace, having made her cry. And then bang! Something struck me. I was sweating under trepidation. There was a plastic container lying on the floor. My body was shaking. There was blood. And the white t-shirt I was wearing was beginning to turn red. And I looked back at my sister. She was standing there, giving the ferocious look of an animal. And I stared back at her too. And I slowly grimaced. And I finally started crying. My grandmother was in the kitchen, came running towards me. I told her the entire story. At which point, my sister was still standing there, giving the same ferocious look of an animal. Given a chance, she would have thrown one more plastic container at me. I went to the hospital and I got 6 stitches on my head. And that happens to be the bloodiest day in my life. Still. As we grew up, we became more mature. The inner spiritual energies that were the trigger for the wild actions got tired. And that's when the next stage, the Cold War, started. From beating the hell out of each other, now we resorted to more stealthier ways of getting the better of each other. We restricted our rivalry to areas of gaining supremacy over the TV remote and the video games. Any claim for the common resources was always done through a first come first served basis. Just that the first person used them forever. And since the protocols for Cold War required limited communication, any arm pass was always negotiated using an ambassador of peace. And that ambassador of peace was my mother, who I thought was always supportive of my sister. And then this Cold War gave way to the next stage, the separation. I physically separated from my sister in 2010. I came to US for work. I thought my sister would be the most happiest person in the world. Because that stranger who was occupying that space in her house was not there anymore. She could have complete control over the TV remote and the video games. But quite unexpectedly, something unimaginable happened to her. And then came the final stage, the realization. On a Sunday morning, I got up late, very late, after my late night party. And I read an email from my sister's email ID. It says, "Anna, I miss you." I clear my eyes and read again. It says, "Anna, I miss you." By the way, Anna means brother in my native language, which happens to be Tamil. I was really happy. I was very happy. Not because my sister called me brother, but because I thought somebody had hacked their email ID and sent me that email. I was so happy. I wanted to call her immediately and tell her this happy news. And I called her, "Purni, do you know this? I have a happy news for you. Somebody had hacked your email ID and sent me an email. Do you know this?" And my sister was very calm. And she said, "No, my email ID is safe." And I said, "No, I got an email saying, 'Anna, I miss you.'" And she said, "Yeah, it was indeed sent by me." My heart skipped a beat. I couldn't understand what was going on. I forwarded that email to all my friends saying, "Finally, my sister called me Anna. My sister called me Anna." Over the coming days, I could realize that she was beginning to feel my absence. She began to show a face of her that I've never seen before in my life. She was such a sweet soul that you would start loving her immediately. We became good friends. And finally, the stranger became the Anna. Thanks so much.